Welcome back. New overnight, Israel hitting targets in Beirut, announcing it has killed Iran's intelligence minister in a precision strike. Fox is being told he was responsible for overseeing Iran's entire global terrorist apparatus, including sleeper cells. The U.S., meanwhile, using 5,000-pound bunker buster bombs overnight to take out Iranian missile sites along the Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM confirming and signaling more strikes are on the way, vowing to wipe out any threats to the United States and her allies. The president writing on Truth Social this morning, I wonder what would happen if we finished off what's left of the Iranian terror state and let the countries that use it, we don't, be responsible for the so-called Strait. That would get some of our non-responsive allies in gear and fast. A Department of War official confirming the supplemental defense request will include funding to support multi-year missile production deals. Lawmakers confirming my reporting that the package could be upwards of $50 billion. Joining me now is Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy. Senator, it's great to have you this morning. Thank you so much for being here. How would you assess the war so far, and what is your reaction to the Defense Department needing to have a supplemental package of $50 billion plus at this point?
The goals were to destroy the Iranian ability to produce a nuclear weapon and their ability to deliver it. Clearly, destroying missile sites is part of that. These missile sites were targeting boats, ships off the Strait of Hormuz, but still destroying missile sites in general is helping to achieve that goal. It appears that we're getting there. The enriched uranium is another issue. The $50 billion that's going to be brought to us, of course, you want to look at it. You always want to make sure there's not something in there that shouldn't be. On the other hand, I think the Senate is going to support the president as he is in the middle of this. We've got to support our troops, and this will be understood as supporting our troops. In
terms of your role on the Senate Committee on Energy and Natural Resources, what do you want to see done in terms of loosening up the Strait of Hormuz to limit the spikes in oil and gas right now?
Clearly, this is more about how do we manage worldwide gasoline prices, oil prices, including in the United States. We can do things to expedite permitting in the United States. We can have a permitting reform bill which allows pipelines to be built more quickly. We should support our allies as they do the same. The oil coming out of Venezuela comes to Louisiana. I'm familiar with how our refineries are built to handle that. Let's get as much of that oil out of Venezuela as we can, but in the meantime, bump up our own production.
Well, it's a great point that you make, given the executive orders that President Trump has come out with in terms of the energy capacity in America. Are you expecting to codify those executive orders with regard to permitting beyond what's in the big, beautiful bill?
Yeah, so permitting is a big issue. And of course, we need Democrats to support it. But I think they might, maybe. I mean, if President Trump says turn on the air conditioner on a hot summer day, they're going to say, heck no. But maybe on permitting, they will. And if we can get that done, then we can begin to unleash America's natural resources. By the way, Maria, that creates jobs. And not only does it put more oil and gas out there, more electrons out there, but it also creates jobs. So I'm hoping Democrats would support that.
Well, Senator, you've got a lot on your plate, including clearing a major procedural hurdle, voting to open debate on the Save America Act. This is a priority for President Trump, of course, and it's triggered days of a marathon debate showdown. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says he's pessimistic that the Democrats will do anything about it and add to the 60 votes needed to pass the voter legislation. Where do we stand, and do you believe this will ever reach the president's desk?
I don't know that. 73% of Democratic voters support it. About 80 or 70%, 83% of Americans in general support it. If Americans weigh in with those Democratic senators, ask them to vote for the common sense legislation that it just asks that you show an ID when you vote. I mean, you show an ID when you get on the airplane.
Right.
You show an ID when you buy a gun. That's a constitutional right. Why shouldn't you just have to show an ID when you vote?
So
now, if they weigh in with those Democratic senators, we'll get them on board.
I'm sorry, pardon me, sir. Are you going to have a talking filibuster to get your colleagues on the record in terms of why they're not supporting this?
I don't know that. I've been for a talking filibuster since I was elected to the Senate, so I'm all for that. So whether or not my colleagues agree, I don't have a whip count. I can't tell you that yet.
Well, look, I don't know how you're going to get the Democrats to agree when they can't even agree to open the Department of Homeland Security, and we are in the middle of a war. The White House sending a letter outlining changes to the Department of Homeland Security to help reach a deal with Democrats and end this 33-day shutdown. It includes expanding ICE body camera use, increasing congressional oversight of DHS detention facilities. We will, of course, hear the Senate hold the confirmation hearing for Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin coming in, President Trump's choice to lead DHS. What are you expecting there? Will he get confirmed?
Yeah, I think Markwayne will get confirmed. Right now, we need leadership. You pointed out the Iranian cyber attackers are already coming at us. And so we need leadership in that department. And so I think Markwayne will get through, and Markwayne will do a good job.
I'm with Harris Faulkner this morning, and we've been talking about that so far. Harris, jump in here.
Well, thank you very much. Senator, good to see you this morning. Look, I want to go to something that happened last night. The GOP chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Mike McCall, said U.S. boots on the ground in Iran would be a game change and would need congressional approval. Democrat Senator Fetterman has said recently U.S. boots on the ground in Iran would be a red line. Where are you on this issue?
Yeah, I think the president has been clear that he does not, put it this way, the president does not want forever wars. He has said that very clearly. Boots on the ground suggests to the American people that it is the beginning of a war like we had in Iraq and Afghanistan. So I think the president has to come to the American people and make a real case if he wants to do something along those lines.
And to get that uranium out, that's why they've said that they would put boots on the ground, because you want to be able to get to that uranium.
Yeah, so getting to that uranium may require like a lot of boots on the ground. And now you're starting to talk about a lot of casualties. I'm not sure the president has made the case convincingly to the American people. He needs to do that.
Senator, it's great to have you this morning. We so appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Senator Bill Cassidy.